Right, we're back. Thank you for watching, guys.
Yeah.
We took a quick break, and we were talking about the bookshelf as an option, not because Microphase Audio Design could not make a larger speaker. You did mention that the floor stand and also the bookshelf that you have. In your view, when it comes to choosing between these two form factor, how do you go about it?
Yeah. Oh well. I think people have a very loose way of talking about bookshelves.
Yeah,
Okay, speakers. These are real bookshelves. They're supposed to be on the console,
yeah,
not on the stand.
on
Okay.
a IKEA cabinet or something.
And
Yeah.
because I took great care in designing this to work in that situation, and there's nothing wrong with using them on stands, but you're going to spend a fortune on a stand.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah, they can be
And
expensive.
you like, if you are happy with the SAT Mark One, and you don't want a subwoofer, well then you can go to the Tower One, and you don't need this anymore. So you have a very thin, very elegant floor stander
Yep.
that will work as an MK1, a Mark One, with a subwoofer.
Yep.
And we really treat whatever we do in the towers. The bass driver is, I mean, it's same here, by the way. Our bass drivers are always considered as a subwoofer. So they cut like this here on this one. We cut this at 400 hertz, okay, or maybe even 300. I mean, 200 is too low. We tried that, but 400, which is where we are at the moment, it stitches very well with the front driver. And gives you a bit. The idea, when you have a bookshelf, okay, is because you can't go that low, you have to cheat. Okay, and the way you cheat is that you actually have a little bump into the lower medium or mid range. Okay, and so that gives you an artificial, because you're basically raising the harmonics of a guitar, a bass guitar. Okay, so instead of hearing the 40 hertz, you hear the 80 hertz, but your brains, if it's at the right level, will process that as 40 hertz. Okay,
Yep.
so that's how we do it. But then when we have more volume in the cabinet with the towers, then we can use the bass driver, a bigger bass driver to start with, so we can go lower naturally. And then, so that's what we do in the Tower 1 and Tower 3,
Yep.
the passive subwoofer. In the Tower 4, we went all the way up to stupidity. So we have two very shallow bass drivers, so that basically they're touching each other, and that governs the width of the speakers, which is 192 millimeters, which is very, very.
So it's side firing or
yeah, the
side firing
yeah,
both?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they also push-pull.
Push pull.
Okay,
Yep.
like most people, like Kev, for instance, in the Blades, which is a speaker I really love, and which is the inspiration behind the T4. So Kev does this. Okay, the speakers works against each other because there is a theory that says that if you do that, then there is less resonance in the cabinet.
Yep.
Well, I'm not convinced.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so basically we have a left and a right speakers. Okay, so the left one does this, while the right one does that. Okay, so they work in a way. They work against each other, but in the air, not in the cabinet. And to make that happen, because the driver we use are so inefficient, we couldn't do a passive version with them. So we have engaged Alton Audio from Tasmania,
Yeah.
and they will be with us at the show, by the way, in Melbourne, in August. So Anthony has designed a plate amplifier, which is 150 watts of MOSFET amplification
Right.
for each driver. So we have 300 watts
Wow. That's a
there
lot of power.
per speaker. Okay, and then the top. Basically the satellite, if you want, which is an MTM. Now we have equipped that with an AMT tweeter from Mundorf,
Oh, nice.
which goes to like 40 kilohertz, and a bit difficult to stitch with the mid-range at the bottom, but now we found a way to do it. And that is then driven by your regular amplifier, okay? And so we use, at the show, we use a Quad 606, which is a vintage product. And because our top is for home, so we have another, 2 or 300 watts, because there are 160 watts on 8 ohm, and then because the power supply is good enough, we can actually double that on 4 home. So basically, when we present the T4s at the show, we have a kilowatt of power. It's like a Ferrari. You're not using that all the time, but you have the motor and the power to do it. Okay. And so obviously, then your drivers are properly controlled. They have all this reserve of energy if you need it. Like if you play the Symphonie Fantastique from, when it does boom.
That's right.
So it's. But again, I mean, if you think about what we do, it's all the same product, okay? We conjugate